I think I'm live. I didn't think I was live yet. Sorry. So, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Um, I am a little bit tired. It is 7:35 p.m. I gotta be up at 1 a.m. and out of my house at 2 to be at work by 3. So, coming up on my bedtime. But I needed to put this out. Um, been sitting on it all weekend, and of course, I'm talking about the Epstein files and the latest drop that we have received, and the how should we put this? Damning information that is in this drop. Damning, putting it lightly. Uh, Disgusting, grotesque, horrible. Any any adjective that describes horrific, sadistic behavior, insert there, and I'm sure it would fit. Um, Trying to think about where I want to go with this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a clip from one of my favorite people in the world, Bobby Sauce. And if you don't follow Bobby, you should follow Bobby. One, the dude is funny as fuck. And two, he shoots it how it is. Um he's got a he's got a great sense of humor, and he's got a fantastic way of weaving the truth into it. And he put out a clip. I don't know if he put it out today or yesterday, but it's something that I want you guys to hear. So I am going to play this for you, and let's see if I can figure out. I don't know if I'm going to figure out how to get this thing to restart from the beginning. So we're just going to play it. Oops. I think I screwed that up. So now if you're wondering why I suggest you guys subscribe to Bobby, that's why. Because he has an uncanny ability to give you his thoughts in a very unique light. And Bobby is somebody that no matter what you think of him, will always speak truth to power. And with everything that we have going on in the world right now, the best currency is truth. People crave sincerity, and people crave people that are genuine and honest. And human beings have a phenomenal talent for sniffing out the bullshit. Prime example, Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk assassination. We all know it's bullshit. Don't know what the real story is, but we know that the story that they're telling us is not fucking true. Here is the next clip that I'm going to play for you.
Being banned on your social media platform here in the United States. Once they suppress our freedom of speech and completely destroy the First Amendment, what do you think they're going to come for next? Look at comments Donald Trump and the director of the FBI are making about a citizen of this country carrying a firearm, regardless of how big, how small, how many magazines. That is our constitutional right to bear arms in this nation.
Oh no, I screwed it up. There we go. So, I don't care what you guys think of Alex Preddy. I don't care what you guys think of the clip that came out a couple days later after he was killed of him kicking an ICE agent's car. If ICE had been doing their job correctly, he would have been arrested that day. But he wasn't. And if the mayor of Minnesota was allowing, or the mayor of Minneapolis was allowing the Minneapolis Police Department to cooperate with ICE officials, half this stuff in Minneapolis wouldn't be going down. You don't see the stuff in Minneapolis happening in towns or cities or states where the local government is cooperating with the federal government. the local officials in Minneapolis need to bear a major portion of the blame for what is going on in that city, because they are instructing their police officers to not cooperate with immigration officials. And whether or not you agree with what ICE is doing or not, the fact is Donald Trump got elected by a very big majority, and the number one issue he ran on was immigration. So the American people agree with deporting illegal immigrants. Where I think the Trump administration is fucking up is the optics of how they're doing this. I don't think ICE should be stopping 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids on the street, IDing them, throwing them in cars, finding out they're American citizens, and then releasing them 12 hours later. Because that's what's going on. They need to figure out a more streamlined, effective, and less disruptive way to get these people off our streets, out of our welfare system, and out of our country. And I know that the majority of MAGA supporters are going to say that they are such a burden to our system. They cost this many tax dollars, yada, 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 yada. Did anybody take notice to what happened to the markets this weekend? $7 trillion in gold and silver wiped away in hours. That had absolutely nothing to do with illegal immigrants. That was manipulation from the top at its finest. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that JP Morgan had an $8 billion short position on silver. And if the government stepped in and said that they had to cover that short position, it would have put one of the biggest banks, not only in the country, but in the world, under. That liquidation wouldn't have happened. There's a reason that silver is trading at $75, $77 an ounce here and up to $200 an ounce on exchanges in the eastern countries. Why do you think that is? I have a feeling that JP Morgan Short has maybe this much to do with it. All right, let's keep going down the clips.
Oh, here we go. Goyim were born to only serve us, he said in a 2010 sermon. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Guys, this is insane. Oh, here we go. Goyim were born to only serve us, he said in a 2010 sermon. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Guys, this is insane.
It is insane, right? Because this is all over the most recent document dump. The language that is used by these people to describe non-Jewish people is absolutely insane. And for those of you that don't know what the word Goyim means, it means non-Gentile. But the slang version of it is the equivalent of a white person calling a black person the N-word. That is what America's greatest ally thinks about the American people. So the next time you want to say Israel has a right to defend itself, ask yourself what those people truly think of us. And if those people would come to our defense if we ever need it. Because I have a feeling that they wouldn't. Just a hunch. Oh, this is a good one. This is a post from Representative Annapolina Luna. And this has to do with the SAVE Act. It says, do not let Republicans fool you. If the SAVE Act or Save America Act is not attached to an appropriation bill, it will fail as a standalone measure in the Senate. That is why any appropriations package coming out of the House must include it. I am fully aware that leadership plans to bundle 5 of the bills together. However, the Department of Homeland Security bill will be a standalone and must have the SAVE Act attached. In case you guys don't know, the GOP has controlled the House and the Senate the entire presidency. Yet the GOP is still refusing to pass the SAVE Act. Are they really on the side of the American voter? Because if they were, this bill would have been passed a long time ago. There also wouldn't be $500 billion of funding for refugees in the new bill being presented to Congress if they were serious about getting the refugees and the illegals out of the country. The GOP has done nothing but let their base down the entire time. And I'm sick of all of these boot-licking Trump supporters just kissing his ass. Not just kissing his ass, but having their heads so far up his ass that they have no perception of reality. If the GOP cared at all about getting illegals out of the country, this would have been one of the first things that they did. Still haven't passed it. And now we have to attach it onto another bill so it gets passed. Because it won't pass as a standalone bill. That's a disgrace. All of you elected representatives on the GOP side, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Because you had a mandate. All of you had a mandate when we elected Donald Trump to get the illegals out of the country. And you guys refused to pass the SAVE Act. Why? I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Drop in the comments if you guys know why the GOP won't pass the SAVE Act, because I can't come up with a good answer other than they don't give a shit about us, about protecting our elections, or about following through with anything that they've said. This next one is from Project Constitution. If you do not follow him, I highly suggest you follow him. He is dropping truth bombs all day long. He holds nothing back. And he doesn't give a shit who it is on the other end that he's dropping bombs of. All he wants is the truth out there. So I'm going to read you this post from Project Constitution. It has to do with Turning Point, TPUSA, what TPUSA may have really been used for, which it seems more and more like the truth. And once again, I will let you guys form your own conclusions. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't click share on the tab. Shocking theory. TPUSA built as a surveillance machine from day one. Charlie Kirk was targeted. His death was premeditated. And the Make Heaven Crowded tour is the rollout. Folks, buckle up, because what we're uncovering isn't just a scandal. It's the blueprint for a private national security state hiding behind faith and patriotism. Thanks to whistleblowers like Annie Nangrata, we've got hard evidence from public records showing TPUSA wasn't built to turn the point on campuses. It was engineered from day one as a massive intel gathering op, harvesting data from conservative youth under the guise of empowerment. The theory, simple. They spotted Charlie Kirk as an early gifted kid. Remember his X-Men style Quest Academy school? Handlers like Edith Walker Montgomery, psych nurse with ties to founders Helen Bartz and Robert Flood, assessed him. High IQ, compliant, no college interference. TPUSA became the honeypot. Events, apps, geofencing to map behaviors, emotions, and networks. But Charlie started asking too many questions and shifting on a certain nation state and rejecting BB's funding. Adversaries emerged. His own 2018 dreams warned of it. His hit, premeditated to silence him and martyr the cause. Now, Make Heaven Crowded tour, it's not a revival. It's the operational phase. Churches' data farms, biometrics, AI emotional tracking, all shielded by new laws. Verified. This is spiritual warfare disguised as salvation. Documented proof from IRS, government websites, and Forbes. Soros Bessent cash pipeline. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's 24-year Soros ties. 3.2 billion flows. 1 billion Black Wednesday. 2 billion fund launch. Globalist influence at Treasury's helm. Sky Foundry Act. Ted Cruz's bill. July 29, 2025. Green lights 1 million drones a year. Government purpose rights for data grabs under the cover of border security. Palantir's $10 billion Army deal, July 31st, 2025. Drills at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, the Turning Point hotspot. Let's see. Aurora Technologies Defense Consortium with FCC Spectrum for drone tests. Utah land grabs. Farnworth Hoffman parcels with $0 transfers. Drone testing grounds near Intel sites. Lori Franceby, Erica's mom. Patent. Defense vulnerability tech. FCC waiver DA 26-69, January 21st, 2026. Lifts drone limits tour launch day. JD Vance ties up to $250,000 in defense funds. Total $13.2 billion in contract flows. The web, Soros money, defense tech, legislation for mass surveillance via religious subordinates, IRS. I don't know what that means. Basically, it says that this IRS IRS Proclamation 2026-8 on January 20th, 2026 grants them audit immunity. God won't be mocked. Charlie's adversaries, they built this beast. The tour's deeper mission, permanent control grid. Full dossiers are attached. Gangster Intel, another person to follow. And I will be doing a multi-part series on this because it's huge. Part 1 will drop today at 3 Eastern Time on our YouTube live stream. Link will be posted in the comments below. The truth sets us free, but only if we fight for it. There is no way that Turning Point USA was not an intelligence operation. Call me a conspiracy theorist, call me whatever you want, call me a nut. I don't really care. The amount of money and the amount of funding that got behind that organization in such a quick amount of time, it completely shows that the growth of the organization was artificial and not natural. I have a feeling that Charlie either caught on to that aspect of it, or he caught on to the fact that the relationship with Erica was not what it seemed. Or maybe our greatest ally didn't like the fact that he was on podcasts asking a reasonable question. Was there a stand down order? Israel is a country that is not much bigger than New Jersey. And Gaza, for those of you that don't know, is an open air prison with some of the highest tech surveillance that exists. So, how did it take 6 hours for there to be any kind of military response to the attack that happened on October 7th? That makes absolutely zero sense. My honest opinion, and I hate saying it because it's absolutely disgusting. Israel either knew about the attack or perpetrated the attack to justify the events that have followed since that day. The destruction of Gaza, the elimination of as many Palestinians as possible, and the forced relocation of them, maybe to Somaliland. Somaliland, that is recognized by Israel. Israel is the only country that recognizes Somaliland. And now there's all this news in America about Somali fraud. Well, if we think about it for a second, all these Somalians that came into the country somehow knew how to game the system and conduct all this fraud with no help, not knowing how to speak the language, not knowing how to create shell companies, file tax forms. Does any of that make sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me, because I live in this country and I would have a tough time doing it. So you're telling me that these immigrants that just came here from another country that don't speak the language, they were able to figure out how to do it that quick? Sounds like bullshit. It sounds like they were moved out of their country, sent here. They were set up with a, I don't know what you would call this. They were set up with I don't know, a gift. They were set up with a gift. They were set up with a golden parachute. You guys leave. You guys go to America. You get all the benefits that they're giving the illegals. We'll set you up with this little golden parachute for you guys to make money for your families. And what do you know? Israel has someplace to put the Palestinians, because Egypt's not taking them. Jordan's not taking them. Lebanon's not taking them. None of the countries that surround Israel are taking any of the Palestinian refugees. So Israel's got to find somewhere there for them to go. Considering they're the only country in the world that recognizes Somaliland, it would make sense that Somaliland would probably be the number one choice. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know. This is for you guys to draw your own conclusions. I'm just presenting you with what I know. So, here's the next Epstein file. And this is going to be the last one that I'm going to cover on the live stream. The Epstein emails, which include numerous derogatory remarks against Goyim, which is used as an insult by Epstein to Josh, an unnamed Jew, in 2012. quote unquote. You behave just like the goyim you do not respect, Epstein said. An edition of the Shaman Post also appears in the files, quoting former Sephardic chief Rabbi Ovidia Yosef saying, Goyim were only born to serve us, Jews, in quotes, and Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion remarking that it does not matter what the Goyim say. What matters is what the does not matter what the Goyim say. What matters is what the Jews do. The document also includes a discussion of halachic rulings concerning the killing of Gentiles by Jews. Let's see what we got here. Sent to blank from Jeffrey Epstein. Josh, you asked me to share my life with you. I excitedly accepted. I shared my highs, my lows, my dreams, my body, every single part of my body. You came home from work telling me you earned millions of dollars, then fought, screamed with me over 5,000. You wanted peace and quiet. You demanded I share the peace, but withheld the prosperity. You told me often how much I cost you, how expensive I was. It showed little respect to the both of us. But I love you and overlooked it. You asked me to violate a basic conviction of mine and have an abortion. Your mother said it would be in your best interest if I did. You now ask why should I be why you now ask why you should be ashamed. Now that it is the high holy days, it's simple. You behave just like the goyim you do not respect. After the holiday, I will be willing to share a meal. No sex, none. I love you. My Jewish studies said that at 13 you should become a man. It's not too late. I don't even know what to say, man. These people are fucking sick. Data set 11. Jeffrey Epstein wrote, this is the way the Jew make money and made a fortune in the past 10 years. Selling short the shipping futures. Let the goyim. End of quote. Data set 10. Goyim were born only to serve us, he said in a 2010 sermon. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. The Shimon Post, July 6, 2011. Foreign policy. Palestinians between reconciliation and impasse. The Daily Beast. Jews won't fail Obama. Article 3. The National Interest. Israel's rightward turn. Article 4. The Egyptians go to polls. What are we afraid of? Article 5, Foreign Policy Research Institute. The Arab uprisings of 2011. Dataset 9. Israeli founding father David Ben-Gurion reflected the mood and mindset perfectly. It doesn't matter what the Goyim say. What matters is what the Jews do. Dataset 9. The threats were linked to the Goyim Defense League. Anti-Semitic activities in downtown Nashville and law enforcement officials have condemned. Dataset 11. Of approval, Torah Hemlick, The Thinking of a King, a book that appeared 2 years ago that discuss halachic rulings concerning the killings of Goyim. Well, if one thing is abundantly clear, Jeffrey Epstein was 100% Israeli intelligence. And regards to him being American intelligence, there's two options. It's either a lie, and our government is just saying that, so we don't look so bad that we let our greatest ally compromise us so deeply, or our intelligence agencies are compromised so much that they allowed this shit to go on. Either way, Israel is not our greatest ally. And I'm tired of hearing it. And I'm tired of the Zionist right shoving it down our throats. Because it's not true. Why don't you ask not a secular Jew, but a religious Jew, what they believe happened to Jesus after he died. Because they don't think that he went to heaven. I can tell you that much. It's becoming clearer and clearer every day that this is nothing more than a war of dark versus light and good versus evil. And everything that's going on here is a fucking distraction to prevent you from stopping, taking a look, and picking a side. I can't tell you how many creators on the right that I have lost complete respect for. Because all they're doing is shilling for this administration. They are shilling for our greatest ally. And they're all doing it for a couple of shekels. The one thing I will never do is I will never lie. I will never lie to you. I will give you my honest opinion, and I will give you what I honestly believe. But I will never sit in front of this camera and play in a video on your screen and lie straight to your face. What happens in the dark comes to the light. Every time. And that's something I've learned in my life the hard way. It always does. You guys better get right with your family. Get right with your friends. And get right with God. Because this is a spiritual war. And it is a war that is coming from all angles. And if you are not spiritually sound, it'll get you. And it'll get you where you're least expecting it. For an hour, it's 8:30. I have to go to bed soon. I gotta watch my boy Baron Coleman because I know that he went live while I was going live. So I'm gonna try to catch up on him while I go to sleep and listen to him on the way to work. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you appreciate my takes. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the support that I've gotten over the last couple days. All you guys that have gotten behind me and supported me for starting the channel. I want you to know that I have seen your comments. I've seen your messages. I truly appreciate all of you. And I hope that I eventually become a voice that you guys can come to, that you guys can trust. Because there's not too many voices that are out there right now that are trustworthy. That's a fact. And I will do everything that I can to bring you guys the truth. And I will never, ever, ever, ever sell myself out. And in the words of Dave Chappelle, My safe word is I stand with Israel. Have a good night.